Hello guys, so in this video I'm going to talk about how you should plan your 1.5 days for tax subject. So a quick tip, if you haven't watched my accounts video yet, then you should definitely watch that video first, because in that video I have shared with a brief overview of how you have to plan your 1.5 days for all the subjects. So in this video I'm going to specifically talk about tax subject. You can watch that video unless you have given your accounts exam. So starting with the tax subject, I just want to give a brief overview of how I planned 1.5 days before exams. So I have planned at least doing 2 times revisions in those around 20 hours that we get. How 20 hours? We can calculate that just after giving of the cost exam, we have around 4 to 5 hours on that day. Then I don't study more than 12 hours in a day, so we have 12 hours on the preparatory leave day and 4 to 5 hours on the day of the exam. So we have around 20 hours for preparing tax subject, and that too with 2 revisions. Just after you have given your cost exams, it was like, it may be good, it may be bad, but that doesn't matter. You can start your studies from the 6 p.m. if you are home till now. So what I have planned is like, I didn't make note for any subjects, and guess what, I haven't make for tax also. So I have planned to read the SM, not the whole SM because it's quite big, of the direct tax as well as indirect tax. So what I did is, after reading the whole book 2-3 times previously, I have underlined the important points, like the important data, important provisions, important definitions, and the important questions as well. So what I did is, I made the notes in my SM module as only. So if you have made your notes anywhere else in your it might be that you have got from your classes, or you have made it yourself, whatever it is, so you can refer those notes. So I have started with direct tax, and the same sequence that is given in the module, like from first chapter, starting with the first chapter and going to the last chapter that it has, and all the 3 modules. So I started with the SM of the direct tax first, because the first 2-3 chapters are quite easy compared to the last chapters, like advanced tax and deductions are quite lengthy, and as well as quite difficult to remember the section numbers. Talking about section numbers first, I would say that it's not important to read the section numbers, but a few sections like the deductions, which are directly asked based on the section numbers, and the TDS sections, if you can do that. Like, there is a trick, I hope you can get a video on the YouTube for learning those sections. So there is a trick you can learn with that tricks too. And the rest of the section numbers, I don't think that they carry weightage of marks. So I had started with the direct tax, and till night I will do the direct tax with the module questions. Now if you have marked module questions which you think were important, then you can do only those questions, like not do actually, but you can only you can revise those questions. And if you haven't marked any questions, then you can just glance through all the questions of the ICA module. Now starting with the preparatory leave day, I again started with the direct tax, because it obviously cannot be completed in 4 to 5 hours. So I planned to complete the direct tax from SM and plus questions, plus ICA questions, till the afternoon of the preparatory leave day. So you can see that I haven't time bound myself. Like, I haven't decided like how many hours I will complete this chapter, in how many minutes I will complete this topic. And even you can see that I have told that I will do DT only till afternoon. Now afternoon here can mean anything, like it can be 12 p.m, 1 p.m, 2 p.m, 3 p.m. So I haven't put a lot of much pressure on my head. Suppose you are into that on that day, like if you aren't able to complete your targets of achieving, like you said that I will complete the direct tax till 2 p.m, and you aren't able to complete that till 2 p.m, then the amount of pressure that situation is going to create is what I'm suggesting you that you shouldn't plan every minute of your 1.5 days, because that's going to be much more pressurize you. So this is how I planned. I have just told that I will complete the direct text till afternoon. Now talking about the sequence, I already told you that you should start with the first chapter first, and then in the sequence that they are given. If you have notes, then you can study from the notes as well, and just glance through the essay questions. That would be much enough. Now coming to the indirect text. In the indirect text, like in the direct text, the definitions are not important because it's fairly like maybe 91 to 2% time they are asked, but in indirect text definitions are asked. Like in almost every attempt they have asked the definitions. So and in the 5 marks also, and in the 5 marks, like you obviously know that in indirect text the questions are of 5 marks most of the time. So they have asked definitions for the 5 marks. So definitions are quite important in indirect text. So you should start indirect text after the afternoon, and you should start with the definitions given in the starting of the chapters, all the definitions, and then you can probably, if you have made notes, like I didn't made it, I have just marked in the indirect text module itself. So if you have made notes, you can start with the notes in the same sequence as is given in the book, because I don't think that the sequence is quite wrong, because the first 3 chapters are quite easy. So you can start with the same sequence and start focusing on the provisions and the data. Like as I said in the law, start focusing on the provisions and the data and try to complete it till night with the module questions. If you haven't marked the module questions, then you can just glance through all the questions. And if you haven't like the amendments are there, if you haven't marked the amendments or corrected the amendments in the book itself, in your notes itself, if your notes are not updated, if your books is not updated, then you should definitely read all the amendments at night after doing the indirect text. This is what I have planned. So you should definitely read all the amendments at night, because believe me, like direct text, obviously the amendments are important, but in indirect text they are more important because they are directly asked in the exam. Like in November 20 exam, one amendment was directly asked from the RTP, like the RTP that they have given, in that the amendment was there, and they have directly put that question copy paste in the exams for the 5 marks. And that's I attended that question, because I definitely did attend amendment very seriously. So this is what I would suggest you to plan your 1.5 days, and then come the day on which your tax exam is there, which is quite going to be hectic day for you, because you have to revise both the text and indirect text in the 4 to 5 hours that you get. So how can you do it? You can just quickly, like quickly as you can glance through your notes of direct text and indirect text. And then what I did is I have made a family list and a section list. Like I don't have it here, I don't know where it went. I guess I have made at the back of the ICI module. What I did, I made a family list and a section list. Section list you can get it from anywhere. You can get it from YouTube or WhatsApp, I guess. Family list in the sense ki for these many sections this is considered as family, for this many sections this is considered as family. Like you will be a lot of confused in the deductions chapter. Like for some sections this family is this, for some sections the family is this, even for the IDT, even for whole IDT the family is this. So there are many confusions in family part. So I have made a separate chart, you can say, for the family. So that's what I referred for DT and IDT at the last when I was going to give the exams, because that's important. And that's the thing that they quite trigger on. Like they quite shoot it, like tell me where is, they quite confuse us. Like who will be considered as a family, who will not be considered a family. That's why I made that chart. And if you have time, even after like overseeing the modules and the family or section list, if you have made them, then you can probably shift to the pro forma of each chapter. Like if you will see the ICI module, they have given some pro forma at the end of each chapter. So they quite give a glance of what is there in the chapter and how to present the answers. So you can shift to the pro forma of each chapter, reading the pro forma of each chapter. So this was all for planning the 1.5 days before the exams. Like text is quite vast subject, so you should plan it seriously, and you should not waste your time during the tax exam at least, because if you will waste your time, then you are going to create a much pressure for yourself. Just sort the things that you want to read during your tax exam, during your preparation. Like I have sorted that I will read the SM and not the whole SM, the things which I have underlined. So you can probably go through your notes, and if you think that some things are not necessary, then you can just delete them. So this was all for tax exams. And one more thing, if you haven't watched my tax answer sheet video, then you can definitely watch that, because you will definitely get to know how to present answers in tax. And I have got 80 out of 100. That's quite a decent score. So this was all for this subject. If you liked it, then do like it and do comment down like what all insights that you get from this video, like what all things did you planned negatively, or which won't work in your 1.5 days plan. So you can definitely comment down below, and subscribe करना तो बोलने की बात ही नहीं है. So this was all for this video. My motivation line बस इतना सा पढ़ना, इसी में से आएगा, दिल खुश हो जाता है, दिमाग बेवकूफ बन जाता है. बस दुआ में याद रखना. Thank you. Bye.